Now, if you think about it, is there any better business model than alcohol? Here we have a product that the a big part of the human species, big part of the population has to have on a daily basis because they're addicted to it. In fact, there's enough of the population that they need to have it on a daily basis, some on an hourly basis, just to get through the day, just to survive emotionally, just to just to survive psychologically and physically. They need to have the product. So is there any better business model than alcohol when you have it built into the population of craving, of addiction, and of physical, mental, and emotional trauma if they don't continue to consume your product? And again, this is the first time seeing me. My wife, I was married for 25 years, and unfortunately, my wife succumbed to alcohol use disorder a little over 4.5 years ago. And I talk about alcohol as a drug because that's essentially what it is. It's a non pharmaceutical drug. It kills more people and destroys more families than all the other drugs, legal or non legal, in the world. Now, before we get too down the rabbit hole, I don't believe in prohibition. I mean, we tried that 100 years ago. It was a dismal failure. It would be a dismal failure if we did it again. I don't think it's the answer. Alcohol has been in the human species and our society for 10,000 years, since what? Mesopotamia. Okay, so it's part of our DNA. It's part of who we are. I think we just have to accept that. Regulating it would be a waste of time. I think my grandfather in the 1920s made beer in his bathtub. I mean, everybody's going to circumnavigate, every possible avenue. Alcohol's not going away. What I'm talking about is maybe revisiting the people that are struggling with alcohol, where they have alcohol use disorder, they get DUIs, that put other people in harm's way. I think we need to have different rules and different avenues. I mean, counseling is definitely a big thing. Re-education and bringing their family into the situation and understanding the core issue of why someone's drinking to begin with. I mean, no different than guns. I mean, alcohol's not what's killing people. People, using products in not the safest way is what's hurting people. The same way guns are. Guns are not innately bad. Either is alcohol. It's just how we use it. And for the people who overuse it or who become addicted to it, this is what we should be concentrating on and looking at, and also their families. Because the core issue of why people drink, that's the real issue. And then there's the people that are going to say, well, what about these other addictions? What about food? What are you going to do? Put labels on, people who are morbidly obese? We're going to they're going to have a special classification, or people that hoard, or people that gamble. Well, here's the thing: people who are overweight, people who gamble, people who hoard products that are useless in their house and fill their houses up with junk. Those people don't kill people. People who take overused drugs and alcohol, they kill themselves and they kill other people directly. So yeah, drugs and alcohol is in a different category of addiction before we go down any further on that road. And I've said this before, somebody who gets 2 or more DUIs should have a different classification on their driver's license. They should not be allowed, and they should lose the right to purchase alcohol. Can they go around this? There's 1,000 ways to go around it. But that person needs to be isolated instead of jail time, which really is not successful for someone who's an alcoholic. They need counseling, they need individual therapy, they need group therapy, they need community, they need connection, and their family needs to be educated in the same way. And I think we need to have better and stronger ways to take care of these people, and checks and balances to the people who are, because it's become a business in itself. Rehabs, I mean, they're only as good as the people who actually participate. And it's all about making a decision. It's all about understanding the core reason why someone is drinking to begin with. Anxiety, stress, hereditary issues, peer pressure, family culture, and a plethora of other things are the core issue. And that's what we should be talking about. As a society, I think we should be able to flag and identify the people who are having difficulties with this drug known as alcohol, or drugs, very similar because they're both drugs, and really identify their problem and get them the appropriate help before it affects other people, before they get behind the wheel of a car. You know, getting in an accident or getting DUIs. I mean, the average person who gets a DUI who's been driving intoxicated on a regular basis, probably already for a decade. So we need to get to people before they do that. And if we can't, if the only way we can identify these people is through DUIs, then so be it. We're going to save some lives by doing that. I think it needs to be much more streamlined, to say the least. And for the people who understand what I'm talking about, I think it's time to take action. This is really my overall, this is my big picture over the next few years. It's more than just the stories of my wife. It's a much bigger and broader and national and international focus. And that's the road we're going down. And again, if you follow me, my wife's book, it's called Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. It's out, it's on Amazon. It's also on my website. You can go into my link tree, click on the website, and the PayPal button is right there. There's no more pre-orders because the book is out. It was released a couple days ago. Very, very important book. It's the story of her and our life together. And unfortunately, she passed away February 21st of 2020, going on almost 5 years ago. And I hope she saves a lot of lives. She'd be very proud of all of this. And again, thank you so much for listening.